problems, the pain, the trauma, the grieving. You are now tuned in to the prisoner to painter. Prisoner to painter. Hard work, dedication, rainy days, inspiration, prisoner to painter. And now, a word from your local Pope dealer.
We are live.
Welcome to the Prisoner to Painter podcast. I'm Nathan McDermott.
And I'm Katie McDermott.
And pardon our laxed dress code and
our overall vibe
today. That's why we're not doing a season or an episode. We're banking on somebody joining, but we're not too sure. This will be the only one that we would ever let anybody not sit at the table via Y. But I'm not getting my hopes up. But so we figured we'd talk a little bit about what else we had going on. Mm-hmm. So I guess a little bit before we talk about what your prisoner to painter is to you, I wanted to say Jerome Vining, preacher of City Life in Lansing, will be coming on the 21st. Justin Counts of Jackson, Michigan. I didn't know how big of a name he was until just recently. He's coming on the 12th at 7. Don Ozzo, musician, but more importantly, I met him out of incarceration. He's giving back to incarcerated folk. He comes on, I'm at a loss for words. I want to say not this upcoming Wednesday, but the following Wednesday, so the 18th, and he'll be on at 7. So there's some upcoming stuff coming on, but that's not the point of this episode. I just wanted to make sure that I said I'm very excited about those guys. So, and I think I missed a couple people, and I apologize for that. My calendar is not in front of me, so give me a little leeway.
Are we gonna mention a little bit why our name is not changing, but things have changed?
I think that's what we should discuss. I don't want to blast my business out there, but I will put why the dilemma out there, and then what Katie's standpoint. You can take care of that. Awesome. So about literally a month ago, I lost my job at Trips. But I make sure
Collision Right.
I lost my job at Trips. I was bought out by Collision Right. Everybody who knows me and knows the family knows that me, Phil Tripp, Brandon Tripp, Jeremy Tripp, all these guys are they accept me into their family. So the Trips family did not let me go. Collision Right let me go. They bought Trips out about a year ago, and then they let me go after I worked for them about 9-10 months. Phil's still my mentor, still a very good friend, very good guy. So I'm looking so I got out of the painting world. So it's no longer prisoner to painter. Now it's a prisoner to unemployed at the moment. So that's where Katie got the idea of, well, we're not going to change the name because we're marketed and it sounds good. And so we just want to put out there that prisoner to painter could be anything you want it to be, asshole to astronaut, or but seriously, like painting doesn't define me. So
like gutter to glory, things like that. So so P2P, anything to anything, and it could be bad, you know, like it doesn't. We share stories to help people, right? So not everybody's story is going to be this huge, successful, inspirational thing. Like it might not be to everybody, but people can benefit from hearing people's stories no matter what. Now, there are a few exceptions that I don't believe, but we're going to keep our personal opinions out of this. So if you could reframe, what's your painter to what? Because it doesn't have to be the same letter, right?
No, it doesn't. I would say degenerate to devout is my new thing. I was because this episode is me and you. So my belief in Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. I do not bring that up on every episode unless it is brought up. But 2 years ago when I got sober officially, God saved my life. And Jeremy once told me way back in the day, he said, man, you need to quit saying prisoner to something because that's not you. That's not you anymore. But it's the podcast, and I ain't changing the damn name. So that's that simple for me. We have done too much with this name and going too many damn places for me to change the name. Okay.
Well, rebranding isn't a bad thing. I mean, eventually, maybe we will rebrand. But
Season 2 in 3 months, buddy. We got 2 years till we focus on rebranding. Though, like, man. But yeah, Katie, anything else you have to say? I know we haven't been talking that long. That's why I was telling you we needed more time to. We should have started around the time he said he could potentially come on, so we could kill. So we didn't have to kill as much time.
no, I'm not. It's nice to see people out of our usual element, I guess.
Well, and look, dude, I gotta be able to see you when I'm talking. Look, like after last episode with Mr. Booer, I felt terrible because me and him couldn't see each other because of this damn thing, and he kept leaning around, and so did I. I'm not doing that again.
Well, I'm sorry.
Trial and error, with
Our
everything.
little technical snafus will be fixed.
It's trial and error with everything, though. That's like how we ran out of batteries. We bought new batteries. We have 3 batteries.
We just have to figure out the technical side
of how when one battery died, we took the camera off, we put the other battery in, and then we can't get it to fucking work. So, but that's the main point of saying that these guys are growing with us.
Yeah.
Because truly they are. And some of the people that have actually been watching us, like more than just the 3 seconds that Facebook tells me what people watch, the people that are actually watching, 30 minutes, 40 minutes of it, they are growing with us, most definitely. So.
Yeah. Also, something that we kind of wanted to talk about, if there are any local events that you'd be interested in sharing the great news of what you're trying to do, we would love to go. We try to do that in a sense for some things. We see people protesting. We stopped, we asked them what they were about, what's going on. We'd love to do more, what's the word I'm looking for? Informative podcasting.
Well, and what's inspirational to you might not be inspirational to them. What's inspirational to them might not be inspirational to that guy. So we're not CNN, we're not Fox, we're not this guy or that guy. We are everybody. So if you are a transgender or you're somebody who hates transgenders, both of you are welcome on my show to tell your story. And I do not expect either of you to bash the other side because your story does not have to include bashing.
Yeah.
But I am all for everybody. How we've had on hoodoo and Christianity, how we there's a reason why we do it, because we are not for one side or the other. We are for the truth. We are in pursuit of truth.
But truth is also something that is different to every person, because your truth is not necessarily my truth. Yep. I mean, it is.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, the truth is the truth. There's 3 sides to every story. Your side, my side, and the truth. The truth is the truth, no matter how you cut it. The truth is true.
So we just want to hear their side. Yep. Is basically it. It's their truth. We want to hear their truth.
Yep. Yeah, that's why we go live. Because you guys hear our mics when they're shitty. You see the cat jump down. You hear me get up and cut off the furnace. Nothing's perfect in this world, and if you believe it is, well, I will say this opinion. You're a fucking idiot, because nothing is perfect. Hey, it's our show. I don't have to pretend. No, this. I think it's better that we have guests, unless we had a predetermined topic, which today we did, but we kind of winged it. But I think what we're doing is great, and I think it's going to go a lot of places. And Ward pointed out, and Ward is he's a friend now, but he said we are accidentally or not on purpose, inadvertently pulling the community together one by one. People that would have never knew each other's name now can talk in public. People who I would have never called a friend are now friends. It's we're doing something little by little. We're chipping away at it. I won't say it's God's work, because there's a lot more to this than him. There's everybody in the community coming together, which in my opinion is still God's work, but I can't say that because some of the people, but this is going to work. I know we keep checking. I know, we're like, come on, dude. I didn't think it was going to work, but I was praying,
you know, it's,
I was praying.
you know, we can just keep going, and if it pops up, it pops up. But
Oh, most definitely.
no expectations, right? Like,
Hey, what's up, Macaulay? Thank you for checking in, bro. Don't change the name. Greg O'Connor. I was gonna say, do not change the name. Yeah, because I was a prisoner of the bottle. And no, Greg, I agree 100% with you. The name will never be changed because it speaks volumes of what we're trying to accomplish. We're the prison city. We went from, I'm a prisoner of something to something else. What we're trying to accomplish is you choose what your P2P is, because not everybody was the prisoner to painter. So yeah, I mean,
well, just like
sex addict to saint. I mean, there's a bunch of handicaps that people got over, and now there's something great.
Well, some people are prisoners to parolees, and then being a parolee is like, that's the success, because they successfully made it through their prison stint, you know?
And that's the whole, what's inspirational to you might not be inspirational to me. But that one person that quit banging dope, and you're like, well, fuck, it's not a disease. Yeah, well, that person inspired probably 10,000 people. So what is not inspiring to you is inspiring to others.
And, you know, recovery is this huge community that if you don't know anything about it, or you're not part of that community, you know, I don't think it's seen to the public eye.
And that's another thing that I reiterate every time we do one of these episodes, but I'm going to reiterate again. This is not a podcast just for recovering addicts and alcoholics. What I have found out, though, is members of the church and addicts and alcoholics are more willing and more nice and ready to extend a hand more than others. That's why we've had so many on, because they want to tell their story. They want to help the next guy. I can't say that for people who've already made it. The only people that's made it, that's come on, that haven't had an affliction, you know, my buddy Claude, Phil Tripp, Curtis, owner of Tactical Trash. There's not many people in the community that want to give back.
We've also had a lot of service members.
Yeah.
You know, we've had a lot of musicians, because
they understand giving back.
Well, and they understand that you need to get out there to be out there, you know? So
this is me reiterating. I also want business owners on. I want none. I want anybody who has a story. And I appreciate Justin Count coming on. From what I understand, he doesn't have a story. From what I understand, I don't want to say I know his story, because I don't. But what he's doing in the community with the housing and not being afflicted by anything, drug or alcohol use wise, as far as I know, it is just great. Oh, Jennifer Scanlon, I don't want to forget her. You know, a realtor, or Zach Watson. It's like we haven't had many people that haven't. That, I guess what I'm trying to say is this is for everybody. This is not just for drug addicts and alcoholics, realtors and musicians. This is for everybody. So if you have a story and you want to share it, get a hold of me or Katie.
We are diverse and inclusive.
And you will never hear our opinion on any matter until after the show.
Well, you know, and what I enjoy about people is that, you know, the right people aren't going to jam what they think down your throat. You know, accept people for who they are. Meet them where they're at. Maybe that's not maybe they haven't figured out quite who they are yet, but they still have a story, and they can't tell you nobody can tell you where they're going to end up, you know, but you know, you can theorize, you can hope. We like hope here.
As Cartoon said in our opener, your local hope dealer.
And also, people don't think that their story means anything to anybody until they tell it, and then one person goes, wow, that really helped me. And you know, you don't have to be this big, huge, successful person. But and you don't even have to necessarily be a good person.
Hey, Big Ham, Big if you're still down to get on here the 12th, 8 p.m. works, man. I see that you're a pretty big pillar in the community as well now that we've linked up on Facebook. And I don't know the exact day, but I told him that, you know, I'll help him just as much as he is willing to help me, which is a lot. He is doing a comedy jam. I don't know the exact day, but check out Big Ham Bigum on Facebook. Another guest of ours, which is funny. All the community comes together, and it's crazy to see it. Uni, one of our first guests, guest 5 or guest 4, she already secured her tickets. So she's going to be down at the Michigan Theater. I want to say Juneteenth, but I'm not positive. But it's maybe the 24th. But he's having a comedy jam down at the Michigan Theater. It looks like he has pretty good artists, or not artists, comedians, whatever artists. Fuck cares. What? Who cares? The word is what I'm saying. Whatever. They're performers. Performers. That's what I was going for. Entertainers. Performers. Whatever. I feel I'm a little more vulgar when we don't have a guest.
And also when you don't have your allotted things.
That I'm supposed to say.
Well, it's not that necessarily you're supposed to say, but
Man, this is disappointing. And I'm not gonna say the name who was supposed to come on because I almost feel like I'm getting scammed, but that would have been so cool, dude. You know what I mean? That would have been so fucking cool. He said around 6:30 CST, so that'd be 7:30, but you know where he's located. I mean, maybe we give him another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Ramble another 10 minutes.
So I am curious, real quick.
Hey, can people see it? It's live now. Can I click on it?
Yeah, but you're going to cause you might want to turn your sound down.
No, that's fine. No, I'm clicking on it. Well, because it says we're streaming off of StreamYard, which is great. That's what, but I was like, man,
I can change that.
No, you're good. No, I'm good with this because the way he was supposed to be added. But I wanted to see if I'm getting stuff real time, and I am. Like
Yep.
what Chad just commented, but it's not popping up. So can you see
I
it?
have that. I'm on both right now.
Oh, right on.
Okay, so
You rock, Chad. Thank you, though.
So, you want to talk about transformation a little bit?
Go.
From prisoner to painter. What was the?
Hey, yes, Wayne, I am talking to you still. I'm sorry that we fell off. I hope your double lung surgery goes good. I still love and miss you, my friend. Transformation. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, squirrel.
What does super secret squirrel? What does transformation mean to you, and why did we name it what we named it? Because that's what we're talking about, right? We're not going to change the name. The name's the name, but you know situations change, circumstances change. So what was the transformative?
Circumstances change. People do not.
People can change under the right circumstances.
Okay. All right. So what happened is what you're asking.
What was the transformation that made you think of the name? Because I don't think a lot of people know how we were branded before we did this.
Oh, so I was a drunk piece of shit drug addict, prisoner to the bottle, prisoner of my mind, prisoner to lust, a glutton. I was a piece of shit, all the way through and through a piece of shit. 2 years ago, I found God. That is what I say my transformation is, but for other people, it's different. You just start doing one right. You get one good day, and eventually you get a couple good days, and then you have a good week, and then eventually you get a couple good weeks, and then you have a month, and then eventually you get a couple good months, and then you have a year. Then eventually you get a couple good years, and that's how you win at life, period. That's how you win at life. So I started getting a couple good days, and then I started getting a couple good weeks, and then I started getting, but no, I'm just rambling. So what happened is Phil Tripp took a shot at me becoming a painter. I know that's very out there that is my story. I started as a cleanup guy making $15 an hour, and I worked my way up to painter making $50 an hour. I did that in 2 years, still as a drunk piece of shit. Phil knew it, and I guess he gave me enough rope to either hang myself or to succeed. And I fucking hung myself, which that's not part of the story most people know. And he was going to fire me Monday. And I called him up, and I told him I'm sober, and I got my shit together. And he said, if you don't fucking paint good by the end of this week, you're gone. And come Wednesday, I was painting cars good. And but the way we branded this was because I was trying to get famous for all the wrong reasons. I was on TikTok with painting cars, prisoner to painter. I was just trying to paint and get famous for all the wrong reasons. And, pride, ego, patting yourself on the back. Now I know this is going to work because it's for the right reasons, because I'm not patting myself on the back. Other people, when they're done here, get to pat themselves on the back. And that's what we're trying to do, to be of service. I don't know if that answered your question at all, because I don't feel like it did. I don't feel like that answered it at all, dude.
So we actually had the logo and the name before we knew what we were going to use.
Yeah, that was very godly. That was a God moment, though. Like we were talking about, man, we're going to make a podcast. And fuck, we did this in a weekend. One weekend. We ordered the mics Friday.
We hit up old Redbeard. He had us hooked up on the IT.
Yeah.
We were like,
Bam! In a weekend, we had this rolling.
Our first couple episodes, we had the crappy little webcam.
Yeah, but the guests that were willing to come on showed me that we were doing the right thing.
And it looked funky.
Yeah.
Like it was.
Tune, come on. I mean, for being a guy for the first year rapping opens for the Gathering of the Juggalos. Like, this dude was like, yeah, I'll make you an intro song and I'll come on as a guest. And he didn't fucking call off.
Do you know how much love we got on that intro song though, Tune? Like, seriously.
Dude, our pastor likes it, too. Our pastor likes it. Like, come on, dude. That's wild. Hey, and I do want to say, Hickerbilly, our pastor said you were a colorful guy. He meant that in a good way.
Yeah, he was very interested in your episode as well.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, that was cool to hear. That I don't know if that answered it. Oh, but where the fuck were we going, man?
I was asking about how we did this in a weekend. We had the logo. Like I had made you shirts for your TikTok that were a little different, and then we had a slight. It wasn't necessarily a rebrand, kind of a revamp when we had Redbeard do our cards.
Yep.
And I had a banner made.
But the first weekend we were like, man, what are we gonna name this thing? What are we gonna name this thing? And me and her looked at each other. Isn't her to paint? We have everything for it to be that. It was I don't care. I will never be shy. That was a God moment. What the fuck are we gonna do? What are we gonna name it? And then to know that, to be able, it's not about me. It's about us. For me getting sober though, to get her brother to agree with what we're doing, him building a wall alone.
And I believe he watches every episode.
Yeah, he'll never say that to us, but I do. but for him to believe in us that much to do this for us was phenomenal. That was enough, and we're the second person to get a stamp. So.
Well, we can dilly dally. Do you want to go into our story a little bit?
We can. Yeah, man, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, just
I know. I kind of knew
the
it.
link is there. Don't get all vamped up. Whatever.
I know. I kind of knew it wasn't gonna work.
We went in with no expectations, honey.
Oh no. I lied. I went in with expectations. Yeah, they were secret expectations. I totally expected him to join. Fucker. Whatever. Good enough. But we said we would never have anybody over the air. So maybe that's God telling me to stick with what I was doing.
Yeah, well, this is also a special case.
Very, very special case. Yeah. Fuck.
So.
T-shirt. What?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, our story.
Oh.
People have heard parts of my story, parts of your story, right?
Yeah.
They were the first 2 episodes. Where would you say our story starts?
In a hot and now parking lot. Not the way that sounded, but in a hot and now parking lot. Yes, most definitely.
I would say it wasn't even in the parking lot of Hot Now yet, because we stopped to pick somebody up, and you came and were like, "Oh, you got a doggy."
Yeah, little Poe. Yeah, the way to a woman's heart is through her dog's stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you not like being the interviewee?
No, I'm not. Yeah, go ahead. Ask me. Yeah. No, I gave. Okay.
Answer.
Okay. Ask me again.
Where did our journey together start?
In your cousin's basement, high on LFD, in a 30 rack deep of
Labatt. And then we got more. It was like water.
Yeah. That's where our story starts. Our story started in addiction and sin.
Yeah.
Now that we're healthy, I can say that.
You want to take turns and popcorn question it?
Man, I'm fucking stuck on this. Yeah. Where would you say our story starts?
Because I didn't like you.
I know. That's why I asked.
It's funny though, because my cousin actually was like, "Oh, come hang out,"
because he wanted to do my drugs.
Yeah, he wanted to do drugs with me unless you're there. Come hang out. And I was like,
that sounds so bad.
Fine.
In hindsight, that's terrible.
Well, yeah, you can't see the bad while you're in the bad, right?
Yep. Yep.
So I would say it started when I seen who you were, mind you, with the help of hallucinogenic drugs.
Yeah.
But we have had some experiences that I would say brought our souls very close together.
Yeah.
And my first impression of my husband, we were on about, I don't even remember how much acid, a lot of acid. And he had all this jewelry on, and it was like kind of like wintry spring still, and he was like eyes this big, and he was like taking his jewelry off and his coat, like sitting inside, and I knew he was like, ooh, shiny, look at me. And
I'm a peacock.
yeah, I was like, And I don't know, then you were pretty cool. I remember you dissing SpongeBob so hard.
And then now that's what we bond over.
Oh, yeah, because you were trying to be a poser. You're like, I don't like SpongeBob, that's for little kids. And then the Campfire Song episode came out.
Dropped it. C-A-M-P-F-I-R-E-S. So what's the song? C-A-M-P-F-I-R-E-S.
Okay.
If you don't like it, then fuck, what did he say? I don't remember.
Who?
SpongeBob.
Oh,
if you don't like it,
along.
then don't sing along.
But yeah.
Well, I don't think we just got to get totally crazy into our story because I would like it to be a whole episode. But we can talk a little bit more, and then I say we get off the air because I don't think this dude's gonna come on.
That's okay.
Because it is, no, most definitely. But I would like it to be more of a dedicated than just us rambling on the air and then getting to it.
It'd be good to see our energy, which,
most of the time they don't get to see. You're right. They get to see me all prim and proper and you in the corner doing the IT stuff. I agree.
So, okay. So we're going to go back and forth, right?
Yeah.
What was the beginning of our relationship like for you?
Something I've never had before. Gifts. Getting picked up from work. Not getting told how big of a piece of shit I am, even though I was. It was something that I never have had. And the connection was there, not just because of drugs. Because we're like the same person. Which is good in some areas and others very fucking bad.
Well, also I'd say that we're totally different in a lot of areas, but we're also very the same in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
So how would you say it was different?
Well, I would like to talk about our whole story, like I said, in a different episode all the way through. But if we are going to do that, there is one thing that I would like to talk about because I don't feel like that it is addressed enough. We have not always been great. We have actually had some pretty fucking low lows. We started having intercourse pretty roughly, and it ended up with the cops being called and me in the fucking hospital. I initiated it, but I had it coming what happened. I just want to say out there that you can fix what is broken without what people say is broken without repair, but that's a very thin line to walk. And I don't feel like that's addressed enough because some women are like, oh, he'll change. Well, 9 out of 10 times they don't. So that's a very thin line to walk, but I do want to put out there that it is also possible. Because our whole relationship, that was a fucking shitstorm, drug, alcohol, adultery, cheating, lying, and then now married with a home and 2 fucking great careers. It's
You're gonna make me
it's possible to change. Yeah.
Okay, we gotta figure this out.
Yeah, we gotta figure this out. Dude, I almost didn't believe that I was gonna get a call from you.
I'm running real late. Can I call you in an hour?
Dude, yes, you can. I will make sure I'll cut this episode and I'll restart one. And yes, I will be ready for you in an hour, definitely.
Okay.
All right, sounds good, Mr. Exotic. Bye.
Well,
Dude.
So we're gonna have to do this way different because obviously Mr. Exotic is in prison, guys.
Dude,
So we're given some advice
what the fuck?
that people want to hear some stories where they're not this huge changed person and they're very successful. So we got on a limb and Nathan messaged Mr. Joe Exotic.
Yep, because stories of inspiration can be found everywhere. His story of inspiration is now that he's locked up in a cage, he has changed his mindset on locking up animals in cages. And then now come to find out, his P2P is police officer to prisoner.
Yeah, I did not know that.
I did not know he was the chief of police. He was the chief of fucking police.
So that's why we were trying to not name drop, because we didn't think that it was a real thing, and then we also didn't know what to say because we are not like what's the word? We're not promoting the bad things that people do. I will say that I am more comfortable personally. If you disagree, whatever. I'm more comfortable with how do I tippy foot around this?
I don't know. Man, I'm almost disappointed. People aren't gonna watch this all the way through, and they're not gonna get to hear that because we don't get like steady viewers.
Oh, I know.
Do you know what I'm saying though? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, man, I'm almost disappointed in that. We just had fucking Joe Exotic call us. Like, for sure. That was him.
Joe.
Did you hear that fucking voice? That was him. That motherfucker restricted, so clearly it gotta be. I fucking can't call back a prison.
I mean, unless he's got contraband, but whatever. So we're
yeah, no shit about yeah, well, the cell phone. Damn, man, how the fuck do I advertise that Joe Exotic's gonna be on in an hour?
I'm gonna say it right now. All right, everybody watching right now.
I'm about to go live separately on my phone after this and just
And
like
then-
real quick so people
Okay,
can
so
hear.
we're gonna. Our story got interrupted because we were hoping
That
it was real,
happened, yeah.
But then we waited, and he was late because obviously prison,
Yeah.
and we didn't know if it was gonna be real, so we didn't want to get people's hopes up.
And
So
I didn't want to get my hopes up, but they did get up, and now they got answered. So that's
So tune back in an hour, I guess.
yep. And then we got to figure out how we can get an audio. See, because I told him podcast. I didn't tell him video cast. I wish I would have changed my wording. I wish I would have changed my wording in that email. But we're just gonna have to figure it out.
Well, hold on. Let me. Check your.
I mean, I can put on. We can figure that out.
All right. Well,
We'll be back in an hour, guys.
sorry that was the most manic episode we have had.
Yeah, that was great.
We'll see you guys soon.
See you in an hour. Fuck yes.